All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we are talking about, well, us, the whole story. How did 8 billion of us get here? And maybe more importantly, where are we all going next? Let's kick things off with a pretty wild number 225,000. What is that? Well, that's how many new people are added to our planet every single day. I mean, just try to wrap your head around that. It's like a whole new city, say the size of Richmond, Virginia, just appearing on the map every 24 hours. Incredible. But this whole story is so much more than just one big number ticking upwards. It's really about understanding the how and the why behind our population. Because when you do that, well, it changes everything. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to look at the basic engine of population growth. Then we'll dig into this really surprising connection between how wealthy a country is and how big its families are. We'll even see this play out in real time by comparing two very different countries. After that, we'll check out the huge shift to city living. And finally, we'll uncover a single tiny number that might just hold the key to our entire future. Okay, first things first. Let's get down to brass tacks. What is actually driving all this population growth? Turns out, it's a surprisingly simple equation. Yeah, it's really just a big balancing act. Every year, millions and millions of people are born, and millions pass away. And as long as the number on the birth side of that scale is heavier than the death side, our total population is going to climb. Just look at 2018. That difference added up to 83 million more people on the planet. But here's the thing. Why is this growth happening so much faster in some places compared to others? It really turns out that a country's development, its level of wealth, completely changes its population story, and it all boils down to just a few key things. So first up is life expectancy, and the change here it's just staggering. Think about this. Back in 18th century Britain, a newborn was only expected to live to about 40. 40. Today, thanks to things we totally take for granted, like clean water and vaccines, that number has doubled to over 80. We're just living so much longer. All right, the second piece of this big puzzle is something called the fertility rate. It's a simple idea. On average, how many children is a woman having? And as we're about to see, this one little number is one of the most powerful forces shaping our world today. And here's our final puzzle piece, GNI per person. Now, don't get hung up on the fancy name. Just think of it as a simple yardstick for how wealthy a country is, on average. And this is where it all comes together. When you plot a country's wealth against its fertility rate, this incredibly powerful trend just leaps off the page. Look over on the far left. You see less wealthy nations like Somalia, where the fertility rate is really high, right? We're talking around 6 children per woman. But then, as you move to the right, as countries get richer, watch what happens. That fertility rate absolutely plummets. In places like the UK and the US, it's way down, hovering around 2. So what's going on here? What's behind this massive shift? Well, in wealthier nations, greater access to education and careers for women is an absolute game changer. It often means waiting longer to have kids, and at the end of the day, choosing to have smaller families. To really see how dramatic this all is, let's put 2 countries under the microscope. They're on completely different paths. Japan, one of the world's richest nations, and Ethiopia, one of its fastest growing. These 2 images, they're predictions for what the populations will look like in 2050, and they tell 2 completely different stories. Look at Japan on the left. It's top-heavy, right? That shows a country with more grandparents than kids. It's the classic sign of an aging population. Now look at Ethiopia. It's a true pyramid shape with this massive wide base of young people. Over 40% of its population is going to be under 15. That is a huge surge of youthful energy. And when you look at the raw numbers, it's even more stark. I mean, a 20-year gap in how long people live, a fertility rate in Ethiopia that's triple what it is in Japan. And the result of all this is pretty straightforward. One country is actually shrinking, while the other is experiencing absolutely explosive growth. So these 2 opposite trends create totally unique sets of challenges. Japan is looking at a future where there might not be enough young workers to support its large elderly population, which can mean they'll need more immigrants. Meanwhile, Ethiopia is facing the huge challenge of creating enough jobs and opportunities for its massive youth boom, which might lead a lot of young people to look for work elsewhere. Now, all these new people, whether they're young or old, they all have to live somewhere. And more, that somewhere is a city. We are, without a doubt, becoming an urban species. Every single week, millions of people pack up and move from rural areas into cities. This process, it's called urbanization. It means our cities are growing and spreading out faster than at any other time in human history. But this rapid growth, this rush to the cities, it comes with a price tag. When you concentrate more and more people in one spot, you concentrate the demand for resources. And that puts this immense strain on our planet. We see it as habitat loss, mountains of waste, and of course, the acceleration of climate change. So, where is this all headed? Is our population just going to grow forever and ever, or is there some kind of natural limit? And that really brings us to the ultimate question, doesn't it? Will our population just keep growing nonstop forever? Well, the answer, surprisingly, is probably not. And the reason why, well, it all comes down to a single critical number, 2.1. This is what's known as the replacement rate, and you can think of it as the magic number for keeping a population stable. The logic is actually really simple. Two parents have two children and voila, they replace themselves. That extra 0.1 just accounts for the fact that, sadly, not everyone grows up or has kids of their own, so it just keeps things in balance. And here it is, the key takeaway. If the global fertility rate falls below 2.1, our population will eventually stop growing, and then it will start to shrink. We're already seeing this happen in developed countries like Japan. The billion-dollar question now is whether the rest of the world is going to follow that same path. So what's the bottom line? We're left with this really profound challenge, Our story, the human story, is one of constant change, of constant motion. You have some parts of our global family grappling with a shrinking, aging population, while others are trying to manage this incredible explosion of youth. At the end of the day, the biggest question isn't just about how many of us there will be. It's about how we can build a world, a future, that provides opportunity and stability for everyone on this one tiny planet we all have to share.